What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to the very, very, very last day of 2023. We could have taken this day off, but we still have work to do. We do not miss. We are always trying to get better, right? So if you do not know who I am your host of today's Software Explorations. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. As you can see in my background right there, I have finished the Infinity Gauntlet. It was my first Lego project actually, and it was kind of fun. It was cool. I don't know. It's the way that I am. Like I get impatient, so maybe it's something wrong with me. But anyways, that's not why we're here. Just wanted to show that off. I love the Infinity Gauntlet, but today we're not going to be focusing on Terraform. We are going to be pivoting a little bit so that we can get this application deployed. I thought we could do it on AWS Amplify, which it's possible, but it's a little bit more work than I was anticipating. We might revisit that in the future, but we're going to try to get this little application deployed on AWS Elastic Beanstalk using the code pipeline. I have a guide that we're going to follow. So we're going to do that today. All right. Before we go any further, let's get into our agenda. Going off camera. Let's go. Cool. Perfect. So let's get into our agenda for today. All right. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of the newest subscribers. We are growing fast, and I just hope that I am adding value into your life, helping you get your technical skills more advanced, and as well as providing you some entertaining content as well as some useful content. I still see that the identity and access management roles video is doing amazing. You guys are reaching out to me in interest to that. You guys are loving that video. So shout out to all of the newest subscribers. Shout out to everyone who finds this information useful. I also want to say thank you to salute to the Patreon members, the Tech Barbarian, the Tech Elite Plus, everyone, just everyone who signed up. I really, really appreciate you. I really appreciate talking to you as well.
I appreciate you.
And to my newest tech barbarian who just signed up right before we went live. We are going to do some amazing work. It's going to be great. So this is 2024. It is time to invest in yourselves to continue to get better. So let's why wait until tomorrow, right? Let's start investing in ourselves today. Let's start the new year off right. Let's not start the new year off drunk and hungover, eating the wrong things, because it's amazing that for our New Year's resolutions, we have all these ambitious goals, but the way that we start off the year, we started off in a miserable way. Like we start off hungover, we start off drunk. Sometimes we don't even know what we did the night before, all that good stuff, right? Or maybe not so good. So let's start off right. And that's why we are still live today. And we're going to be live tomorrow morning as well to welcome in the new year, get some our mind stimulated. We're going to review some news because I've been off this past week and going back to work on Tuesday, right? And I'm looking forward to it, right? And I want to hit the ground running. I just want to let's make 2024 that year, right? And beyond, like every year we should be looking to get better, right? Sometimes you have a little bit of setbacks, but we're not even going to focus on that. We are going to be focused on growth and on winning. As you saw in the slideshow at the beginning of the show, we have the candid conversations tomorrow on winning in 2024. That is our goal. That is what we are going to do. There is no other option. All right. So that being said, if you have not done so yet, right? How about you start to level up now and subscribe to the channel, to the Tech Coach Ralph channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. Like the video, share the video with everyone because there is something that anyone and everyone will find useful here. That is my number one goal, to continue to add value into your life. All right. So definitely let's go ahead and subscribe to the channel and share it with everyone. All right. So let's get into our live show schedule real quick. So we have our coffee and kata show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7:15 a.m. It is a good way to jumpstart your day. We review a couple of news articles and then we do a small coding challenge so that we can wake up. We shouldn't be waking up on the job. A lot of times people, I've heard it before, right? When they get to work, they kind of like waste the first 2 hours away. No, we want to be productive. That is how we are going to level up. We're going to continue to be productive. By the time that we get, whether you're working remotely, whether you're working in the office, by the time you get to work, it's time to work. It's not time to like get into it. That coffee is just about waking you up. And that's why I do the coffee and kata show, because when I do the coffee and kata show and then I get to work, I'm like, all right, let's go. There's no time wasted. All right. Do something in the morning that is going to be productive before you actually get to work. Don't wait to get to work to start being productive. Be productive earlier, right? So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:15 a.m., coffee and kata. Tomorrow morning, I might set it back a little bit, maybe 7:30, maybe 8 a.m. I don't know. We shall see, right? But we will not miss. We are going to get to work. So then we have Sunday afternoons. Today, we have software explorations. We are going through Terraform on our Sunday afternoons, but I did a slide pivot today because I really want to finish this deployment. And we are going to be, like I said, we're going to shift gear. We're going to be looking at Elastic Beanstalk on AWS and CodePipeline to do that through GitHub. So that is the plan for today. But traditionally, we do Terraform on Sunday afternoons. Tuesday nights, one of my favorite nights, we have our Q&A sessions. This past Tuesday, I had Andrew join me, and maybe we can get Don to join us on one of these Q&A sessions because he has some amazing insight into the QA industry and the software testing industry and software development as a whole. He's been working his butt off these past few weeks. That's why we haven't seen him as much in the chat, but I suspect in 2024 we will be seeing a lot more of Don. So Tuesday nights, Q&A sessions. Thursday nights, we have more software explorations. That night, it depends on what we're doing. Sometimes it's based on the software explorations. pre-record content that we have. So, but definitely more software explorations. We do a lot of software explorations here because that is how we are going to grow. That is how we're going to level up. It's we don't we're not going to become masters of any one thing on a particular night, but we get exposure and then we get to see, okay, this is what we need to focus some more on. This is what we're going to go into. So definitely that is the plan. So Thursday nights, more software explorations. All right. So one more time for our live show schedule. Coffee and Kata, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7:15 a.m. Sunday afternoons, we have software explorations. We are continue going through DevOps for Terraform. Tuesday nights, we have Q&A sessions where I answer your questions or I find questions online that need to be answered and I help provide answers to that. And then Thursday nights, we have some more software explorations. Those topics, they vary from time to time, but it is always, I try to get those to be a little bit more focused on QA, but it all depends, all right? So, and then we might be adding a little bit, some more live streams on and off as the need, because we still have that website that I'm working on for my friend, for Bruno. So that's going to definitely, we're going to be doing some more live streams on that. And there's some new things that we want to learn as well going into 2024. So I will probably be adding some more live streams on that so that we can continue to level up our technical skills. I have on my plate, I want to learn Flutter for some mobile development as well. So, so many things that we want to learn, but we have to make the time for it. We make the time for what's important to us. All right. So shout out to the live show schedule. Now let's jump into our pre-recorded show content. We have Mondays, Candid Conversations. We are heading into season 2 of our Candid Conversations. So tomorrow, season 2, episode 1, let's plan to win in 2024. That is already scheduled. Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concept and overviews. I'm thinking about changing the format of that one a little bit. We'll see, right? We shall see. But I am working on that one for this coming Wednesday. I want to talk about which automation framework should you be learning in 2024, right? So this coming software explorations, we're going to be talking about, should we focus on Selenium? Should we focus on Playwright? Should we focus on Cypress, right? Those to me are like probably the 3 most popular ones right now that so many people are talking about. And which one are we going to focus on? So that is the plan. It all depends, right? So I'm going to make that video. We're going to talk about it, right? And then as always, let me know what you think in the comments as well. And then Fridays we have the Bug Bite. We are starting season 2 of the Bug Bite. We are going to be talking about when the robots fight back. Real life iRobot situation happening right there. Right. So that is what's coming up on Friday's episode of the Bug Bite. And then throughout the week, I'm going to start making some more shorts and stuff like that. But we do have our clips from the Q&A show that comes out Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely check that out. All right. So one more time, we run through the pre-recorded content real quick. We have Mondays, Candid Conversations, Wednesdays, Software Explorations, Fridays, the Bug Bite, and then throughout the week, we have the clips from the Q&A show. I cut them up and I make them available to you in bite-sized digestible pieces, all right? Now, I want to mention to you as well, our next Q&A for cybersecurity night is going to be January 16th. Let me confirm that, right? So right now, we have what we've planned, Socks and I, is January 16th, 2024. Yes, we are in 2024. Less than 10 hours away. We are a little bit over 9 hours away from 2024, and we are going. This is my declaration, right? This is my declaration for 2024. We are going to go harder than 2023, right? I I started the channel in towards the end of May, right? Beginning of June, no idea what I was doing. And in the time I've learned this software, and I use OBS for streaming, and I've gotten pretty decent at it, but I want to get better. I want to be able to do more. I want to be able to provide you more and more value. I want to, I just want to, I just want to have fun with you guys. And so we're going to run it up. So so that means that we're going to be providing some more content, some more shows. We are going to, and that's why I'm looking forward to Cybersecurity Night. Yesterday, Sox gave me a tour of Sox U. He's still working on it, planning to have it up and running by January 11th, right? So that is the goal, and he is going to provide some promotional codes so you can get signed up and you can level up. You can that is going to be your gateway into cybersecurity. So definitely we're going to be giving a tour to everyone about that on January 16th. That is a tentative date right now. I'm going to get that scheduled after I confirm with Sox that date is going to work for him, and we can have a conversation about Sox University as well as answer any questions that you have. So that is the plan. All right. So that's what I'm definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully that you are as well, because like I said, if it doesn't add value, then I'm not part of it. All right. And I know that Sox is going to be adding tons of value into your life. Another thing that I want you to do as well is I want you to go ahead and check out the Chaos Camp challenges, right? I want you to check out the Chaos Camp challenges because that is going to help you as well level up your technical skills, level up your technical skills. It's going to help you stimulate your mind on how to approach QA and testing and development, right? In the mornings, like we just finished this past Wednesday. We finished the Chaos Camp challenge for the Rock Paper Scissors challenge, and we are going to pick a new one going into 2024. Tomorrow, we are going to be working tomorrow, right? Tomorrow morning, we're going to do our challenge. We're going to wake up our minds because because I know a lot of us might have the day off tomorrow, but we're going to hit the ground running. So once Tuesday comes around, we didn't waste the whole weekend away. I like to work every single day, whether I'm creating content, whether I'm looking up, like researching documentation. I was very happy last week, although we didn't get the final result that we wanted. I was very happy that I was able to use Terraform to set up the AWS Amplify, right? It's a testament to the work that we've been doing the past week the past few months, right? Because being able to set up the variables and being able to follow the documentation for AWS Amplify that we never used in Terraform before, right? We're able to get it set up. Now, we might not be too familiar with using the AWS Amplify itself, but we're able to get it set up in Terraform, and that was a huge, huge accomplishment and goal for me personally, and for everyone who's been following along as well. I definitely give a round of applause to that because it's amazing work. Like, you might not, I don't know if you see the value in getting the things that you're learning to work, but that's the goal. And in 2024, my tech barbarians are going to go even harder. We are going to crush it. All right. So with that being said, I want to say definitely check out the Chaos Camp challenges. We're going to start a new one tomorrow. I have to choose which one. So the other thing is, before we jump into our work for today, one more time, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, right? To the Tech Coach Ralph channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. Like the video, share the video. Check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. It's imperative, right? Because you know how I feel about people complaining. I am personally allergic to complaining. If you want to get better, right, invest in yourself. Like I said, before before we got I started the stream, had a call with someone who just signed up for, it was pretty much a consultation call, and then right after the call they signed up. They are like, they said, I am starting my New Year's today, not tomorrow. I'm starting my New Year's today. Today is the January 1st of 2024 for me. I'm going out there and I want you, Tech Coach Ralph, to help me get to the next level. And you know, that, like, those are the people that I love to work with, that they want to invest in themselves, they want to win. And a little bit of investment in yourself, you will see down the line how beneficial that is to you, right? So, you know, 2024, let's stop investing in other people and other people's ideas and other people's dreams. Let's invest in ourselves so that we can level up, and get to, you know, a lot of people, they want to transition into tech and they just think it's just going to happen. No, you got to put in the work, all right? So 2024, the theme of 2024 is going to be put in the work, okay? So with that being said, you know, check out the Patreon, www.techcoachralph.dev. And before we get started, let's get some energy.
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
All right. So let's get, and I'm still working on transitioning my setup from the iPad over to this loop deck that I have now, right? But you know, it takes some time. But I have both of them side by side. I have my interface here where I can mute and unmute. I have my loop deck here that I'm still transitioning stuff over. But you know, I have some stuff working, like, you know, for when I tell a bad joke. And so I have some stuff working here, but I still have to do the transition. You know, it's all good. But you know, it's work, right? But I love it. I definitely enjoy it. So let's so what I'm going to do is so this is the plan for today, right? We are going to take a look at what Elastic Beanstalk is. We're going to take a look at the code pipeline is, and then we are going to follow a documentation from honeybadger.io. The links for everything is in the description. And we're going to go through there. We're going to follow the guide. We're going to see if we can get it to work. You know, my tech barbarians have been waiting 2 weeks now to get this app deployed. They are very patient with me. I thank you guys so much, but we're going to get it done. And, you know, I've like throughout the week, I've been playing with AWS Amplify. One of the reasons that I'm pivoting from AWS Amplify, right? It is not built, although they have server-side rendering, it is not built for exactly the application that I'm trying to deploy. So there are other tools that can do it. I mean, there's so many ways, because I could have done it through Fargate, I could have done it through EC2 instances, but I'm just trying to find the best option. And here's the thing, right? We want our code to be agnostic to the environment that is being deployed, right? So I want to be able to, like, let's say we figure out the AWS Amplify, right? I want to be able to pivot to that. So there shouldn't be anything in the code that is like is tightly coupled, right? We don't want tightly coupled code. We want it to be loose, right? Loosely coupled, you know? So we're going to look at the documentation for to figure out, like, to find out more about what Elastic Beanstalk is, what CodePipeline is, and then we're going to follow our guide. We're not going to use Terraform today because I was looking at the Terraform stuff. You know, sometimes, like, I was looking at the Terraform stuff for Beanstalk and CodePipeline, and it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. What we're going to do, right? We're going to get it to work manually, and then in the future, we're going to use Terraform to migrate it to Terraform instead of having it done manually, because we want to be able to start it up, tear it down, all that good stuff, right? But our Terraform skills are getting a lot better, and I am so ecstatic about that. So all right, so what I'm going to do, I am going to put our timer up, and I am going to put our first 20 minutes up on the clock. And then once the 20 minutes runs out, we are going to take a break. And what I'm going to do during our break, what should we do during our break? 2024 is coming. And guess what? You know what? Because 2024 is coming, companies are going to be hiring for the new year, for the new fiscal. So let's start looking for some jobs. I'm going to look for. I know I deal with a lot of QA people, so we are going to be looking for some QA jobs. Yeah, and we'll have a little conversation during our break. All right. So let's get our first 20 minutes up.
It's time to do.
All right. So I am going to pull up a couple of websites. And let's do Elastic Beanstalk. I'm just pulling up the sites real quick that we're going to be looking at. Got the Honey Badger up, and then we have the AWS Code Pipeline. All right, so let's do some reading real quick to find out what we're going to be getting ourselves into. And let me try to change the screen with this. Oh, kind of sensitive over there. All right. So let's take a quick read. So AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Deploy and scale web applications, upload and deploy web applications in a simplified, fast way. Focus on writing code instead of provisioning and managing infrastructure. Select and retain full control of the optimal AWS resources for powering your applications. Use adjustable settings to scale your application for handling peak traffic while minimizing cost. So let's figure out, how does this AWS Elastic Beanstalk work, right? So AWS Elastic Beanstalk deploys web applications so that you can focus on your business, all right? That's what we want to do. So AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So this is the whole thing for it, right? So deploy and scale web applications and services. So use AWS Elastic Beanstalk console, create an AWS account and answer questions that become inputs to create your environment, right? So we have our AWS account already. We'll log in a few. So application code and Elastic Beanstalk platform. Set up your application with your code and runtime with Elastic Beanstalk platform. So then AWS CloudFormation, Amazon EC2 instances, S3 buckets, Amazon CloudWatch, deploy environment, launch resources for your environment with AWS CloudFormation. And then it goes to the web application or service, all right? So somewhere along the way, we're going to have to configure our domain to be able to point to this, probably through Route 53, but we shall figure that out when we get there, right? So why AWS Elastic Beanstalk? Elastic Beanstalk is a service for deploying and scaling web applications and services. Upload your code, and Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles the deployment from capacity provisioning, load balancing, and auto scaling to application health monitoring. So let's take a quick watch of what this is about.
Finding the right tools to migrate, build, or modernize your cloud-based web app can be complex. With all the choices available, it can be difficult to know which ones to use. And afterwards, it's up to you to manage multiple services to provision infrastructure, handle deployments, and scale your web app. What if you could instead focus on writing code and building great web apps? Wouldn't it be nice to not have to worry about provisioning services, scaling infrastructure, or updating your platform with the latest patches? AWS Elastic Beanstalk is an easy-to-use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services developed with Java, .NET, Node.js, Python, and many more on familiar servers like Nginx and IIS. Elastic Beanstalk automatically manages the services needed to host and scale your application. Getting started with Elastic Beanstalk is easy. Migrate your application by uploading your source code bundle to Elastic Beanstalk using the Management Console or command line interface. Elastic Beanstalk returns a URL for your new web app and automatically handles the deployment details, such as provisioning, load balancing, auto scaling, and application health monitoring. You have the option to configure your web app to run on your preferred instance type, or to add resources such as a virtual private cloud or a relational database. Elastic Beanstalk also provides a pathway to modernization. You can re-implement portions of your application as containerized services. Then, by linking to your existing web app, create a distributed application. With Elastic Beanstalk, you can retain control over the AWS resources powering your application, allowing you to manage as much or as little as required. Even better, there's no additional charge for Elastic Beanstalk. You pay only for the AWS resources needed to store and run your applications. With Elastic Beanstalk, you can focus on building API services, web backends, websites, content management systems, and even SaaS applications without spending a lot of time managing and configuring infrastructure. To get started, visit the Elastic Beanstalk console and get your web app running in the cloud in just a few clicks.
All right. That's my first time watching this particular video about Elastic Beanstalk, and that is super, super informative. I think it should work. But we're going to follow the guide. But in reading what about it, because I went into the console and see how to set it up. And it said something about like, oh, you would have to, zip up your code and upload it and stuff like that, which I didn't want to do it necessarily that way. So, because I have the code in GitHub, and I would like to deploy it from GitHub. So then that's where it mentioned about using the code pipeline and the guide that I found to follow, which I read through it a little bit, but I was like, we're going to do it live together because, we like to learn together and stuff like that, right? So, let's see. So let's jump over to the CI/CD code pipeline. So AWS code pipeline, right? Let's read a little bit about that to see what that is all about, and then we can see how we will we can see how we can use that, right? So AWS code pipeline, automate continuous delivery pipelines for fast and reliable updates, model your software release process and mitigate the need to set up or provision servers, define the stages of your software release process using AWS Management Console or AWS Command Line Interface, rapidly release new features, iterating on feedback and catching bugs by testing each code change. Adapt to your needs using your own plugins or pre-built plugins in any step of your release, right? So let's see how this works, right? So AWS Code Pipeline is a fully managed continuous delivery service that helps you automate your release pipelines for fast and reliable application and infrastructure updates, right? So, the AWS Code Pipeline: source, build, test, staging, production. So, this is very similar to what I use at work when we are deploying. We don't use AWS Code Pipeline. We have some different tools that we use, but the application, the intention is pretty much the same, right? So, is there? Don't see any. Let's see. So, use cases: define your pipeline structure, update existing pipelines, and provide templates for creating new pipelines with a declarative JSON document. Receive notifications for events. Monitor events that impact your pipeline with AWS Simple Notification Service (SNS), which provide a status message and link to the source of the event. Control and grant access. Manage who can change and control your release workflow with AWS Identity and Access Management. We're very well familiar with the IAM. Integrate your own custom systems. Register a custom action and hooks servers into your pipeline by integrating the code pipeline open source agents with your servers. All right. Anything else here? How to get started? Check out the product features. Learn about product integration. Get started with code pipeline. So AWS definitely provides tons of information on how to use their services. All right. So get started with it. All right. All right, cool. So there's no video to watch on this one, but we can get started with this documentation that I have here, right? So I found this at honeybadger.io. Not too familiar with that site, but it did have a nice guide written by Samson Omojola. So it says deploying a Node.js app with AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So we read this. Elastic Beanstalk makes it easy to deploy and scale your applications with load balancing, all that. So we read that already, right? So prerequisites to follow this tutorial, you should have Node installed. So we already have we already have our application done, right? So we don't need to, we're not going to follow this exactly. What we're going to be doing is we're going to take the parts that we need. So we'll read through it, right? And then we'll highlight the things that we're going to be doing, okay? So with Node installed. So step one, creating a simple Node.js application. So you can use the express generator tool to whip up a quick Node application by creating a new directory and running the following commands in it. npx express generator. Now you should have a new express application. You can run npm install to install all application dependencies. See the application. So yeah, and that's pretty much when I was starting to set up the express app, that is what I did. So we got this part done already. So now we go to step two, creating an Elastic Beanstalk application. So to deploy the newly created application, navigate to your AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment, create application, select Node.js under platform, leave sample application as selected under application code, and then click create application, right? After a few minutes, your new Elastic Beanstalk application should be ready and live. You can view it by clicking the link auto-generated on the top left side of the page. And when you do that, it should give you something like this, right? So this is the part where it talks about the manual deployment, right? First, we need to zip up our project file so that it can be uploaded all at once. Navigate to your project directory, select all the files, excluding the node modules, and compress them into a zip file. Navigate back to your Elastic Beanstalk console, and on the left-hand pane, select the environment you created earlier, as you can see below, -honey node -env, right? The thing is, I don't want to do this part because we have it in GitHub, right? So I'd rather it just pull in from GitHub, but we'll see if we can do that. If we cannot get it to do from GitHub, then we can always go and do this manual deployment. I prefer not to because I'd like to have that pipeline of like when we update to GitHub, it should be able to push it to this, right? But let's keep reading. So next select upload and deploy, choose the file, select the zip files you just created and deploy, right? After a few minutes, the deploy should be complete. Now, if you click on the URL that was generated by AWS EB, you should see your deployed app, right? Cool. So, I mean, that would be super simple, right? Which we can always pivot to that if we need to, but I would rather us not have to do that. So the continuous integration and deployment, CI/CD. CI/CD involves automating the building, testing, and deployment of an application. This process eliminates the errors often made when manually performing these tasks. It also saves your team a lot of time and effort. All right. So with that being said, with CI/CD, code changes made to an application can be tested and deployed automatically, enabling customers to get improvements to your application and new features quickly. We can automate the deployment of a Node.js application to Elastic Beanstalk using AWS CodePipeline. We'll upload our application code to GitHub, which we already have that done. Cool. And use CodePipeline to connect the GitHub repo to Elastic Beanstalk. That's what we're looking to do. All right. So pushing local repo to GitHub, open your GitHub account, create a new repo, and through your CLI, push your code. So we're not going to do that because we already have that done, right? But we could what I'll probably do if we want to go through this whole thing in the future, Yeah, maybe we'll do that, right? Because I'm being very specific today, but maybe in the future we can go through this whole guide, this whole documentation on creating a new Express app, and maybe we can do it with something with Python as well. Whatever the case, we'll try different things, and we'll do that there, right? But we will do this in the future where we can go creating a brand new Express application, creating a brand new repo, local repo, and GitHub, and push it up to GitHub. And now, but we're going to jump to step 2. We're going to create the pipeline, right? So go to the search bar in your AWS console, search for code pipeline, and all right. And on the code pipeline console, create pipeline. Give your pipeline a name, and we're going to say new service role. Right, connecting the pipeline to GitHub. So that's going to be our step 3, which is technically going to be our step 2. So on the add source page, select GitHub version 2 with your code source provider. Connect to GitHub. So we're probably going to have to do like some type of login thing like we did for the AWS Amplify. In the new window or tab that pops up, give your connection a name, which can be anything. So we'll give that some type of name. And here it's going to ask us to authenticate to GitHub. So on the next page, AWS connector for GitHub request permissions. We'll do that, which is probably going to be like almost identical to the one that we did for AWS Amplify. Not a problem at all. Upon authorization, you'll be redirected back to create connection page. To have GitHub apps generate a link to your GitHub. To have install a new app. To have GitHub apps generate a link to your GitHub to be used by CodePipeline, click on install a new app. So we will do that when we get there. This time you'll be redirected to a page to select the GitHub account or organization to which you want to connect. Select the appropriate option. All right. Next, you'll be prompted to decide whether you want to give AWS access to all the repositories in your account or specific ones. You can select the option that you prefer. Click on install, and upon installation, you'll be redirected to create connection page again. Click connect to complete the process. Now back to the add source page, ready to connect message. If you click on the repository name, search box, you see a list of your repositories. And this is like pretty much identical to what we did with AWS Amplify, but we will do this as part of the code. And I'm guessing that they probably have some type of integration, like AWS is integrating into CodePipeline as well for their Amplify stuff. But we're doing it a different way, so we're going to have to do this manually, right? All right. So select the main master for this one. Build stage is optional, so we can skip it. Skip build stage. All right. So step 4 is going to be connecting our pipeline to a deployment tool. So under deploy provider, select AWS Elastic Beanstalk as a tool through which your app will be deployed. Under region, leave that as the default. For application name, select the application that you created in AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Under environment name, select the appropriate environment for the application you choose above. All right. It's on the review page. Go through all of the options which you've selected and ensure that you've made no errors. If everything is as it's supposed to be, click on create pipeline to complete the process. Now your code will be deployed from the source to Elastic Beanstalk. If you load your Elastic Beanstalk URL, you should see your newly deployed app. If you commit and push any changes to your GitHub repo, it should be reflected in your Elastic Beanstalk application, right? So as you've seen us do, like in some other live streams we've done. Let me zoom in on this. So I don't know why I didn't zoom in, but we're gonna go through this again anyway. So it doesn't really matter that I'm not zoomed in right now, because we're going to go through. Like I was just reading through it, right? One. All right. I think that's good, right? But yeah, so when you do a pull request, right? When you do a pull request and then you merge it into main, once the changes are approved, it should automatically kick off a deployment, right? So that is going to be our goal. So let me go back to the top, right? And once we come back from break, we will start off with creating. So we don't need to do this. We already have this done, right? We are going to start off with creating the Elastic Beanstalk application. So that is going to be our plan. That is going to be our goal. That is part of being engineer to win. Sometimes you have to pivot a little, but it's part of the plan. It's part of the process. We are always looking to learn.
Lunch
We're always
break. Lunch
looking
break.
to win. All right. So let's go to our full screen and let's put up our 5 minutes on the clock for our break. And I am going to pull up LinkedIn. And let's go to job search. So, I know, like, I keep seeing a lot of people still looking for like manual QA jobs, which I honestly don't see that happening. But we shall see what we can find. All right. So let's say we do manual tester. Right. Let's see if there's anything, because I know it's a new year coming, but I don't know. All right. So let's see. So this one says QA lead. Let's see what is over here. This one, lead the QA team on quality metrics, testing strategies for assigned projects, explaining each team member's role and overseeing their work. This is a hybrid role in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. See, in here, like, so this one, we searched for manual, but what it has: design, develop, and execute automated tests using Selenium and other testing tools, define testing strategy. So, I mean, this one is a little bit more advanced. The testing lead, he had a video about like how to spot scams and stuff like that for like when you're learning and stuff like that. And if you think that you're going to land a QA lead position as like right out of a boot camp or something, or right off taking a Udemy course, it's don't let people fool you into thinking that, right? But let's take a look at this manual tester on site at Xperis in San Diego, California. Let's see. So manual QA work at, and how many people applied for this already, right? So 70 applicants, which, like I always say, like if you're trying to get into the field, you want to go for the on-site / hybrid positions, because as you can see, only 70 applicants for, and this is in California, like the population of California is crazy, right? So, and it's a good way to build experience, right? So, their client is seeking a manual tester to join their team. And, so this is a contracting company, which the official position, you don't know when a company is how many different agencies that they're contracting to. So it might be like it could be a lot more than 70 people. Just 70 people applied through this consulting or through this staffing agency, right? But work in coordination with QA and dev engineers to load, build, and execute tests, perform basic analysis to validate test data and assess observed issues for regression, troubleshoot technically complex systems problems to identify root causes, availability during standard work hours with potential flexibility for longer working days and or weekends as required by role experiment. Let's see. So what's needed? BS, MS in computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, or equivalent experience, right? And this is the part that really gets a lot of people, because they might go to a boot camp or something like that. They might do some type of internship, which is like, and that's one thing that I definitely recommend watching that video that that the testing lead put out. But one of the things that I slightly disagree with them, and like, I don't think you're going to learn much off of a 2-week internship, right? Especially like you get thrown into a company and you have a 2-week internship, and then you try to go apply for a job with that on your resume, it's not going to happen. All right. And that's why, and this is the part that trips a lot of people up, because this is the requirement, right? Bachelor's in computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, or equivalent experience, right? So what if you have an AA, right? Well, what's the experience, right? But a lot of times, like, people go to a boot camp, and because this definitely looks like a kind of like an entry level role, right? But entry level doesn't mean 0 years of experience, right? And that's why, like, somebody coming out of college would have a better chance of getting this, because although they might not have the working experience, they have the educational requirements that it might be looking for, right? So proficiency in Bluetooth protocols, packet sniffers, audio,
Get a move
digital.
on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
So audio, digital, signal processing, and embedded firmware consumer. So this one's more like on the electrical side, but it's cool. Minimum of 3 years of experience in quality assurance and quality engineering. Let's see. I would like, I would, I would recommend, like, if somebody is looking for entry level role, to still try to apply for this. Um, you know, use the job descriptions on what you need to brush up on. But I think this part right here is going to be tripping up a lot of people who do not have the educational requirements. But a lot of times when positions are on site, there is a lot more flexibility. If a position is remote, there's going to be it's going to be really, really hard on the flexibility, because there's so many people to choose from. But when they need somebody to be on site or hybrid, you have more flexibility that you can work with. So, like, they might say they have a minimum of 3 years, but maybe they'll get away with maybe they'll, if they can't find the right candidate and stuff like that, or there's many reasons that you can't find the right candidate. But they might have that work into the 1 year. They might take a 1 year. It just depends, right? There's no, like, specific standard for this, right? So let's go back to our full screen, and we are going to jump into our next 20 minutes.
Let's go! Let's go!
So I'll say this real quick. If you are finding this information useful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. Like the video, share the video, check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. And we are logging into AWS. Let's get our 2-factor authentication in. Authenticator app. I've been using the Authenticator app for like, the first time I used it was probably, what year are we in? 20 or probably like 10 years ago now, right? And it was to log into AWS, believe it or not, right? We were using AWS virtual, like EC2 instances, I guess, like virtual machine, something like that. And that was my first time. That was my very first exposure to AWS, to be honest with you. I have to clean up my AWS a little bit. All right, we are inside AWS. I can share my screen with you. So I don't think we're gonna need any of the. I don't think we're gonna need any of the. I think we're gonna need, like, Python and stuff like that. Actually, I might. Let me take a quick look at. Look at the code real quick, because I know I made some changes yesterday to it that which might not need to be there. So, but what we're gonna do first, we're gonna go to Elastic Beanstalk. I need WebStorm, not PyCharm. So Elastic Beanstalk, we're going to click Create Application and Web Server Environment. And part of my mistake with AWS Amplify was that it was so easy to launch a React app, but React is not a server-side rendering from, like, the way that it launches. So it was a mess, right? But that's how we learn, right? That's how we learn. So, let me actually no, we're good. All right, cool. Cool. All right. So we might not need to do anything in the actual code, but let's go here and we are going to name. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see this a little better. All right. So let's call that the name. All right. And let's go to environment name, domain name, leave for auto generated. See if we go with this. Maybe we can get that. Yeah, let's go with that. All right. And let's go to manage platform Node.js. Right. Let's leave that as is. We can leave sample code for now, and then we will. I don't want to upload the code as a zip file, so we can leave that as sample because let's create it very basic, simple, right? And then leave the presets, single instance free tier eligible. And let's go to next. The next button is here behind my camera, but that's where it is. And next, let's see what happens. So, service role. So I guess we'll be creating a new service role. Enter the name of the IAM role that Elastic Beanstalk will create to assume as a service role. Beanstalk will attach the required manage policies. So cool, and if you notice, right, everywhere we go, it's talking about the identity and access management roles. It's going to create this one for Beanstalk, and we're just going to leave it as is. Select an EC2 pair to securely log into your EC2 instance. Let's see. Mm, let's go with that one. It's the one that we use when we're doing different stuff. Have that one. I don't know if this is gonna be required. Let's see. All right, cool. So, let me take a look at this again. Make sure so we have sample create. Uh, to deploy newly created application, navigate to your AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment. Create application, give your application a name, leave sample. A little more that it's asking us for, but let's keep going. Let's see. Let's use our default VPC. Assign a public IP address to the EC2 instance in your environment. I think we can always go back and edit that. Well, all this stuff is optional, right? So let's skip all this stuff for now, right? Let's go straight to review because all this stuff is optional. So I don't want to get bogged down on this type of stuff over here. Is there a skip button somewhere? Oops. What happened? Hold on. Went back. Should be using this mouse. All right. Start over. All right. So, sucks. All right. All right. So let's copy that. Copy that. Okay. Sample application. Next. Oh, Node.js. Next. So let's do a create new role. And this is the identity and access management role that it's going to be creating for this role. All right. So let's go to. All right, cool. So we are on the review. I skipped steps 3 through 5 so we can get right into this. You can always figure that. We can always go back and edit this later or just recreate it. That's not what our focus is for today. And let's go to submit. All right, so Elastic Beanstalk is launching your environment. So once that is launched, we will see the sample application using Node.js. And then once that's done, then we will transition over into the code pipeline part of it, right? And then we'll connect it, see what happens. All right, so let's see. So while this is doing, while that's doing that, let's take a look. It says after a few minutes, your should be ready and live. You can view it by clicking on the link generated on the top left side of the page. It'll be that one. Running version. So once we get here, we're going to do upload and deploy. We can get that's how we do the manual upload, which we are going to try to avoid doing that. Let's refresh this. It's still pending. So what's happening here? Create environment is starting using Elastic Beanstalk as Amazon S3 storage bucket for environment data. Environment health has transitioned to pending. There are no instances, so it's still going. Actions. I wonder how old. Let's see how old this article is, by the way. Let's see if they put it. Oh, so this is from last. So not too bad. A little bit over a year ago. So I mean, a lot of it is probably like AWS updated some features, some layouts and stuff like that. But I think it's still pretty, like from what I can see so far, it's still very relevant. The link for this article or this tutorial by Samson Omojola is in the description of the video. So definitely check that out. So let's keep checking this out. Let's see what happens if we were to take this URL. So it's still not up yet, right? So let's, it's still working on it. Let's take a look at our description here. I mean, this has to work because we didn't do anything. Like we just said deploy the sample application. But it's provisioning servers and stuff like that. So it does take a little bit, right? But what a great thing to go into the New Year's learning. So that is awesome. So let's do this, right? While this is doing its thing, let's look at here and let's start off on the deployment pipeline. So we are over at, so our goal is to see this, right? But while it's doing its thing, we're like I said, we're going to skip the manual deployment part of it. And we are going to go down into the CI/CD, continuous integration and deployment. And so we already have our code in GitHub, right? Let me pull up GitHub real quick. All right, so this is our code in GitHub, right? So it's already there, right? Nothing to harp on, but we are going to, this is still doing its thing. So while this is doing its thing, we're going to start on, because we don't believe in time being wasted. We're going to start on this. So we already have, to open your GitHub account, create a new repo, and through your CLI, push your, so we already have this done, right? So it just showed it to you. So now we're going to go into, let's do a new, and so now we have a new console window open, and we are going to go to Code Pipeline, open that up, and we are going to create a new pipeline as the documentation says, and we are going to, let's follow along. So we're here. We're going to click create pipeline, and we will give it a name of Poopy Pants Pipeline. All right. So it says V2. So let's see how this is going. Still doing its thing. Oh, what's going on here? Instance profile, the instance profile AWS Elastic Beanstalk role does not exist. Well, that's a bummer. So, we always run into something. So let's see what we can do about this. The instance profile AWS Beanstalk EC2 role with the associated environment does not exist. Well, how can we get that created then? Well, let's let it do its thing for a second, and let's at least get this part set up, because maybe we can get this part set up, and then we can go back and figure out how we can fix the other part. All right. So give your pipeline name, have a code pipeline. To have a code pipeline, create a new service, select new service role. A new role name will be auto-generated for you. Click on next. All right, so we have here, all right, new service role. Next. Source provider, we're going to go with GitHub version 2. And we are going to say, connect to GitHub to give AWS CodePipeline access to your GitHub repository. So we'll do that. Connect to GitHub. And give it a connection name. So let's say Tech Coach Ralph. All right. Connect to GitHub. And verify your GitHub identity. Say okay. And then it said click on the, so in the new window or tab that pops up, give your connection a name. Did that. Connect to GitHub. We did that. And we authorized it. Redirected back to, so now it says, all right, so install a new app. All right, cool. So to have GitHub apps generate a link to your GitHub to be used by CodePipeline. Click on install new app, as said. And this time you're redirected to a page to select the GitHub account organization you wish to connect to. So we want to connect to Tech Coach Ralph, not Chaos Cap in this case. Install on your personal. I'll choose all. I mean, it don't really matter. So install. And signed in when your phone is ready. All right, so now we need to use GitHub Mobile. You know, got to have that two-factor authentication. Trust me. You do not want to get caught slipping. All right, so use GitHub Mobile. We sent you. All right, so we got that. And let's see. All right, so here we are. We have our connection. Upon installation, and now click on connect to complete the process. Connect. All right, here we are. And we have my, oh, wait, we have 30 seconds to go. So I will give a proper acknowledgement. All right. So here we are, connect. Okay. So now back to add source. You should see ready to connect message. So we go here, ready to connect. All right. Let's see what else. All right. So that.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
All right, we are at break, and I want to I'm gonna throw up a 5 minutes on the break time, and I want to properly acknowledge my brother Tech Takeover. Salute to you, Mr. Tech Takeover. Happy New Year's to you as well. I look forward to 2024. Many things happened in 2023. Some good, some not so good. But we made it through, right? And we're going to win. We're going to crush it. And I want to thank Operation Tech Takeover for being so supportive. Like I don't think I've known him for more than a month, or maybe a little bit more than a month. It's been very, very recent, right? But the support that he shows is absolutely amazing. And it is an honor and a privilege to know someone with such high character. So we're going to continue to win in 2024. We're going to continue to run the numbers up. I have your back, and we're going to do some great things. All right. So like for me, 2024 is already here. There's no, I've already forgotten about 2023. We did some great things, but that is the past. We are looking towards the future. I'm thinking of so many different things to do in 2024. How to integrate some more jiu-jitsu stuff into this channel. I already signed up for some competitions in 2024 for jiu-jitsu, but we want to also see what can we do? Like, how can we take our technical skills? And we want to take everything that we do, right? Everything that we do, there should be a level of technique and technical skills applied to it so that we can be sharp and on our A game. So I'm rooting for all of you guys out there, all the people who I've met, and I'm just rooting for you. Good guy out there, Don, Socks, Tech Takeover, all of you guys, I'm rooting for you, and we're going to get together. We're going to see what we can do to be more productive, to be more on the winning pathway. All right. And Tech Takeover says it's been about a month, but it feels like, yeah, I mean, you are like, you're a real one, very, very supportive. And I appreciate being able to talk to you. We're going to connect even more in 2024. And, I definitely want to see how I can add more and more value into your life, the way that you've been adding value into my life. And, we're just going to do some great things. All right. While we finish our break, let's look over again at some of these. You know what? I'm gonna pivot a little. Well, on the next break, I'll do it, right? But let's take a look at some more of these QA jobs. But on the next break, I do want to look at what's out there for the software developers, software engineers, right? I do so. One thing about software development and software engineering is that you can create your own stuff, right? Especially with the help of AI and stuff like that. It's a little bit harder for QA people to get that start. But I think if you can create something cool and talk about it in software development, software engineering, front end, UX, UI design, whatever the case may be, you have the sky's the limit, right? How do they say it? The world is your oyster, So, anyways, let's take a look at this manual tester position right here, right? This is a 12-month contract in San Diego, California, on site as well. We need individuals to serve as test engineers for the team and work alongside other QA and dev. Sounds like the other one that we just read, right? This is the other one that we just read. It's, I don't know. This is kind of interesting. This is the same exact job. It's just how many people apply for this one? So this one has over 100 people, right? But it's the same. This is weird, but whatever. Let's keep going. QA engineering lead at Reality Labs for Meta in Los Angeles, California, $106,000 a year to $158,000 a year. So QA lead, this is a pretty cool position. I think it seems kind of a bit low for California, especially for Los Angeles. But experience with coding in Python, PHP, Java, C, C++, or equivalent languages, experience with creating from scratch test planning, test design and execution, experience in managing black box and white box testing, currently has or in the process of
Move on,
obtaining.
back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
In the process of obtaining a bachelor's degree in computer science, computer engineering, relevant technical field, or equivalent practical experience. You see, and that is the part, equivalent practical experience. So let's think about this, right? Going into 2024, how can we build equivalent practical experience, right? How can we build experience even if we do not have even if we don't have the job to build it, right? I think there's some ways that we can do it. I will be sharing that with you throughout the next few weeks, throughout the year. Degree must be complete prior. So Meta is definitely big on the degree part, right? But it also, I don't know, it says or equivalent practical experience. So if you don't have the equivalent practical experience, they're going to be leaning heavily on the degree. But they also want 5 years of QA engineering lead experience as well. So this is Meta we're talking about, right? They're going to how many people applied? So over 100 people applied. I would say probably 90% of them probably don't qualify, but a lot of times people don't qualify for the jobs, and they get upset because they are not selected. But it is what it is. Like, companies are going to have their requirements, and it's up to you to meet those requirements. Some companies, they will be lenient, but Meta doesn't have to be lenient because of who they are. So just throwing that out there. And let's do. Let's take a look at this one right here. QA Analyst 2 for Favor Delivery, Texas, right? This one is hybrid, has over 100 people applied for it. About the job. At Favor, we're committed to building world-class teams that share a passion for products that make difference with modern clean code. Favor Technology Platform is an engine behind the business that enables our runners to deliver millions of favors. Wonder what that means. You have to look a little bit more into this company, see what they're talking about. What you do, explore new technologies and contribute to the refinement of testing related tools, standards, and training. Mentor less experienced quality assurance team members by guiding and testing methodologies. Engage and collaborate with other teams to ensure high quality, timely solutions delivery. communicate individual and project level development statuses, issues, risks, and concerns to technical leadership and management. 2 years of experience in a software testing role. So, I mean, this one is kind of entry level, you know. A relevant degree or comparable formal training certification and or so this company right here for this QA analyst 2, right? It looks like they'll definitely be open to boot camp graduates and stuff like that, maybe Udemy courses. A lot of people think that Udemy isn't really valid, but companies pay for Udemy subscriptions for their employees to level up. Maybe they might not be like fully accepting of it, like coming into the company, but they definitely use Udemy and other platforms like Coursera and stuff like that to help their employees level up, right? Deep experience with and knowledge of mobile app testing. That's a good one. Experience incorporating testing strategies into an agile Scrum environment. And you know, this part is super, super important because you might get the education and stuff like that from a boot camp, from Udemy, whatever the case may be, but you do not have the agile Scrum experience. And that is one of the things that I work on in my coaching, is to like how to implement like agile Scrum practices into your learning, using Jira and stuff like that. Very, very important. Let's see. Ability to write SQL queries to verify data flow between multiple components and systems. Knowledge of software architecture where you work. This role can be hybrid or remote. So hybrid or remote. So that's why like it's going to be a lot of people applying for it. Depending on the team member's location. If you live in Austin, Texas, we ask that you work from home roughly 3 days per week and work at our HQ for the remaining work days. If you live outside of Austin, you will primarily work from home with the opportunity to travel to Austin for company-wide events. No matter where you work, we foster an inclusive and flexible environment to support our workforce. Look, hybrid, because I'm going to tell you this, right? Companies will prefer people who are able to work in office, right? And to work from home 3 days a week and work in HQ for like 2 days, that's pretty good, right? That's a good deal. And like you've got to be like, so in order to get that remote, you've got to be good, right? And if you are if you're learning and stuff like that, because this company seems like pretty flexible. So if you're in Austin, right, I think you'd learn a lot from the people in office, and you get to, you know, working from home 3 days a week, you go into the office 2 days a week, you have your meetings and stuff like that, get your work done. You know, I would love to coach someone who was able to get this position because we would take off, you know. And then their benefits and stuff. Learning and development. We encourage personal growth and education through internships and learning labs taught by favorite team members and external facilitators. Great stuff. You know, good stuff, right? Very, very cool. All right, so let me read this comment from Mr. Tech Takeover, and then we will we'll get back to what we're working on. It says, it's not like it was 2 years ago. Companies just hired warm bodies to hit those staffing numbers and spend the funding. They are back to quality over quantity now, trimming the fat for the past years. That is 100% facts, you know. You are totally right. And here's the thing with that, right? People are taking it personal, right? I think that, so I was thinking about this sometime last year, or I keep saying last year because but you know, like I was thinking about this earlier this year, right? When all the layoffs and stuff were happening, or maybe it was last year, I don't know, but when all the tech layoffs and stuff were happening, right? And people were like really upset and everything like that. Would you rather get the opportunity to work at a company in tech, especially if you're trying to get into the field, right? To get into the field and build some experience and have something to put on your resume, and then, you know, eventually get laid off? Because let's say you were one of those quantity hires, right? But if you're just sitting around doing nothing, then that's on you. But if you are grinding and learning every single thing that you can in that position, using the resources that they give, right? The education stuff, because you know that, like, you know, you're new to the field, you're trying to learn, right? And you use that as an opportunity to learn all the stuff that you need to learn, right? Then, even if you do get laid off, you put yourself in a much better position to go to another company and show that you know what you're talking about and that you used to work at this particular company, which could be an impressive company, like especially if you got laid off from like Google, Meta, Amazon, whatever it is, right? That name on your resume is super, super impressive. So my thought was like, if I worked at one of those big companies and then sadly I get laid off, but I'd rather have the opportunity working for that company than not to have it at all. And, then it's like even tougher. So to me, it's a matter of perspective, and using everything to your best advantage. Like I mentioned, before my last job, I did some data, like integration engineering, right? Like moving data from one spot to the other. And did I want to do it? Not really, but I was able to leverage that and learn a lot about SQL stuff, SSIS, all this type of stuff, right? So it just depends, And Tech Takeover said, facts, bro. It's never been personal. Just business people didn't take advantage. Just kicked back and did all those day in the life vlogs. Now they're mad and unemployed. Yep, you're totally I totally agree with you. You have to use everything as an opportunity. If you were like quote unquote lucky to get into it, use it like it's your opportunity to learn, right? So definitely, 100%. I totally agree with you. All right, let's keep going real quick. I'm gonna put what time is it? Probably like 1 or 2 more segments. So let's go and do.
It's time to do.
All right, so our Elastic Beanstalk is being a little funny with us. Let's see. So it failed because of this, but let's finish this part off, right? Let's choose a repository. So we want to do so right now we're in the code pipeline. We shall go back to the Elastic Beanstalk in a little bit. So let me take a look at this. So this is just like the configuration, connecting our pipeline to a deployment tool. All right, so we are going to choose that, and then we're going to say the branch. We're going to use main. So pipeline trigger source action can either use change detection, branch, and commit, or a pipeline trigger configuration such as get tags, but not both. Note, choosing a trigger that is not the branch option will not enable automated change detection for the pipeline. So we're going to leave it as a branch. So whenever we push to the master branch, or whenever we merge into master and push that, whether it's through a pull request merge or something like that, it will do that. So get tags pipeline type v2 required. Your pipeline only runs if you start it manually. So we'll leave it as pushing that. And output artifact, AWS CodePipeline uses default zip formats for artifacts in the pipeline, does not include Git meta about the repository. Let's go with that, right? And build stage, this tool. So we'll skip the build stage as they have in the documentation. And we can always go back to that and do that, right? So deploy add a deploy stage. So choose how you deploy your instances, choose a deploy provider, and then provide the configuration. So we will choose Elastic Beanstalk. There it goes right there. And we can do that and Poopy Pat's code app environment. All right, so we have all that. And next, so we have our review, and we can create our pipeline. So pretty much what the documentation said, we are there. So the only thing we have to go back is figure out what is going on with our pipeline has been created, but So it failed as I expected because something's wrong with the Beanstalk, right? So let's go back to our Beanstalk so we know our code pipeline is good. Let's go back to the Beanstalk configuration. Go to our Beanstalk configuration. And we need to instance profile AWS Beanstalk associated with. All right, so let's go to that. No environment for. All right. What do we do here? How can we fix that? Configuration, or let's say go to environments. Okay, so that's all right. Let's go to environments. Let's go here. And let's see. So we have all this done. That's not what we want to use. Because if we can get the let me see, the instance profile role associated with the environment does not exist. Let's see what we can find in here. So Elastic Beanstalk. Choose an existing. IAM role assume that by an EC2 instance profile allows Elastic Beanstalk to create, manage an environment. Both the IAM role instance role and instance profile must be attached to the IAM manage policies that contains required permissions. Choose an IAM profile with managed policies that allows your EC2 instance to perform. Okay. So the existing IAM role must have the required IAM managed policies. So let's do a duplicate of this. And let's go to IAM. And let's go to roles. This one. And let's go to add permission. And we're going to want EC2. Let's give it full access for now. Right? Add permission. So if we go back here, refresh. Choose an IAM role with managed policy that allows your EC2 to perform required operations. Refresh this. So this is the IAM Elastic Bean service role. See what's under policies. Two. Attach to I think. Let's see. Instance profile. EC2 role associated with the environment does not exist. Let's go to roles. Oh, this is called service role. So let's take a look again at this part then. Let's go to configuration, service access. Wait, that's there. Select an EC2 pair to security log into your EC2 instance profile. So if we go here, let's see. Application migration. So let's do a quick Google search. Elastic instance profile. All right, so an instance profile. Let's zoom in a bit. Elastic Beanstalk instance profile. An instance profile is an IAM role that is applied to Amazon EC2 instances that are launched in your Elastic Beanstalk environment. When creating an Elastic Beanstalk environment, you specify the instance profile that's used when your EC2 instance takes the following actions: retrieve application version from Amazon. Right, log. All right. So Elastic Beanstalk provides a set of managed policies that allows EC2 instances in your environment to perform the required operations. The managed policies required for basic use cases are the following. You attach these policies to your instance profile that you create when you launch your environment. If your application requires access to other additional let's Let's see. Previously, Elastic Beanstalk created a default EC2 instance profile named AWS Elastic Beanstalk EC2 role. For the first time, an AWS account created an environment. This, however, recent AWS security guidelines do not allow a AWS service to automatically create roles with trust policies to other AWS services. Because of these security guidelines, Elastic Beanstalk no longer creates the. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So the error that we got then was. So we just need to create this then, right? So let's go ahead and create that. So copy that, and we're going to go here. We're going to create role. AWS. Give it a name somewhere. I guess we'll go with this one. Next. And the permission that it's going to need is AWS Elastic Beanstalk web tier. AWS Beanstalk. Web tier. All right, so there goes one. And then we're going to need worker tier. Worker tier, number 2. And we are going to need multi-container Docker. So let's add that. What is this? Let's leave that as that. Role name, we're going to call it the AWS Elastic Beanstalk EC2 role. Allows EC2 instances to call AWS web services. All right. And the trust policy, let's look at this real quick. EC2 Amazon STS assume role. All right. Let's make sure that's the same. All right, cool. And let's create that role. In the future, we are going to migrate all of this work over to Terraform, right? That is our ultimate goal. All right, so we have that done. So we can go back over here and let's go ahead and let's edit our configuration. If we go into service access, let's see. All right, so there it goes. All right. I will go with that. Let's apply. Oh, environment. No environment found for. All right, so let's restore the environment. Restore environment. And we go here. We're going to go and we're going to configuration, edit. Got that. I don't know if we need this. Let's go ahead and apply. No environment found. No environment found. Let's see. All right, fine. Let's create a new one then. Let's create a new environment. So, poopy pants quotes app. All right, fine. All right. Let's go to Node.js, do the sample application. And we have our service role. We have our this one. I mean, I'll put this, doesn't matter. We're gonna skip all that. Let's go straight to review. And we are going to submit. So let's try that again. Why don't we? So we'll probably go into break while it's doing its thing. Hopefully, I mean, this is like following the guide. But this is how we learn, right? So in the past few weeks, we went into AWS Amplify quite a few. We started investigating. We started using Elastic Beanstalk. We were able to do it with Terraform. I really wanted to do it with Terraform today, but we were just not ready for that yet. So we will get it over into Terraform at some point. All right. So here we are. So look at that, right? This is better. Created security group.
Lunch break.
Create a security group, right? Elastic Beanstalk security group. So that is good. We're making progress. I don't think that happened on the other one, right? Waiting for EC2 to launch. This may take a few minutes. We have an Elastic IP address. So let's let it do its thing, and then we will come back and we will configure it, right? So full screen. All right, so making progress. I like where we're headed. I like that. I like where we're going into the new year, right? So let's keep moving forward. Let's keep trucking along. Let's see here. Cool. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon and your New Year's Eve with me, Tech Coach Ralph. If you haven't done so yet and you are enjoying the stuff that we're working on, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. Like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. And do not forget to check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. You can definitely sign up for free, and we can level up and win together. All right. So let's go back to here. And I am put 5 minutes up on the clock. It's gonna be our last 5 minutes break, and then we're going to work for one more session, and then we are going to wrap it up for tonight. I can already see that the thing is like the Elastic Beanstalk configuration is working. So that is, oh my, I have my good brother in the chat. I know him in real life. Diego. Thank you for stopping by. Happy New Year's to you too. There are not words to describe how proud I am of my brother Diego and all the things that he has accomplished in the past year to 2 years. You know what? One day I'm going to have to get Diego to come up, and we're going to have a conversation on the show about his history, because he has a fascinating story. Out there in Texas now, just killing the game, just continuing to win. And, he is in the healthcare industry, but focusing on Salesforce and stuff like that. Just not only an amazing human being with a beautiful family, but his skills are on point, right? So I just had to share my appreciation for Diego. A very, very good friend of mine introduced me to Brazilian pizza, which I will say, right, the very best pizza on the planet. All right. I don't know about on Mars or anywhere else, but on the planet of Earth, Brazilian pizza is the best. All right. So, yes, I said it. I said it. I said it. All right. So, let's look up some. I know you'd find that entertaining. All right. Let's look up some. Let's say we do software engineer. Let's try that. What do we have for software engineering? So software quality assurance engineer in the greater Chicago area. Software development. I just want software engineering. I don't want software test engineer. Why is it so highly focused on? Let's go to software developer. It's like it's stalking me. It knows everything is about QA. It's not even giving me any. Let's say we do front end developer. All right. So let's see. Front end software engineer ads measurement at TikTok. So a front end software engineer. This is most likely going to be on site. At TikTok, 137K to 237K in Seattle, Washington. Right. Let's see what kind of history, right? So minimum requirements, bachelor's degree in computer science or related technical fields, 2 years of working experience so only 2 years, right, of working experience and proficiency in JavaScript ES5 or later. So not even ES6, right? ES5 or later. CSS, at least one front end MV framework such as React or Vue. Cool. They didn't say Angular. Collaborative mindset with solid written and verbal communication. Experience in advertisement technology is a plus, right? For pay transparency, compensation description annually. The base salary for this position in the selected city is between 137K and 235K. Or 237K. Our time off and leave plans are 10 paid holidays per year plus 17 days of paid personal time off, PPTO, prorated upon hire and increased by tenure, and 10 sick days per year, as well as 12 weeks of paid parental leave and 8 weeks of paid supplemental disability. Not bad. Let's see. I mean, they're not asking for much, right? I wonder how many people applied for this. Over 100. Like, I should get like the LinkedIn Premium so I can see
Get
like
a move
how
on,
many
back to
people
work, chop,
exactly.
chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. You're back to work, back to work, back to work.
But I think as if you're interested in front end development, right? It's about what can you build and what can you speak about, and because a lot of my friend over at Calculus Coder, right? He made a video about projects, doing personal projects and stuff, really not getting you the experience that you need. Like people want like real experience, which I agree, but I think that you need to do these projects and stuff as talking points. Like if you're just building something to build something, it's not going to be you need to deploy it and you need to make it useful. Like if you can show traffic going to your projects and stuff like that, people actually using the stuff that you're doing, it becomes it goes from being just a personal project to an actual application that people are using, right? So if you can put out value into the world instead of just, I just created this random thing. So let's say you're taking a Python course, right? And they're having you build games in the Python course, or you're taking a front end development course and you're building games. Put those games out, to get traffic to it. And you can say like, I built this application and I have these games which is actually getting traffic. And you can market it using Google ads or whatever, maybe a Facebook ads, maybe Instagram ads, whatever the case may be, right? YouTube ads, whatever it might be. And you push people to your site, right? And then you can show that you're actually getting traffic. You've actually built something that people are using. It's not about just having something living in GitHub, because guess what? People aren't really going to care. Like, I look at people's GitHubs to see what's going on, but for the most part, recruiters don't look at GitHub. Hiring managers don't have the time to go through your GitHub. But if you can put something out there that people are actually using that is generating traffic, right? I should be sharing this for my Patreon members. But if you can generate something that's getting traffic and you can speak about it, you can talk about like the technology behind it, then you have a better opportunity for your quote unquote projects, which are not just projects, they are actual applications that are being used. And that is one of the reasons that I'm deploying this application here for my Patreon, for my tech barbarians, so they can have something to talk about their contribution to a project and how they use it. All right. So let's read this. And it is always a pleasure, Diego. I got to get out there to Texas one of these days. And Tech Takeover says, Ralph, now you have me curious about the Brazilian pizza. Look, I was like, Brazilian pizza, what's that? But when I had that pizza, oh my goodness, it's, trust me, like, look it up. It's so thick, right? It's thick, right? I don't remember the name of the one that I had, but there was one with like 10 different types of cheese on there. It was like, it tastes amazing. The next day it was like, I probably shouldn't have done it, but it was amazing, you know? So it's great. Like, so I definitely recommend it. And you have to meet Mr. Diego so you can, trust me, it's definitely, you know what? Because I'm just gonna do this, right? I'm just gonna do it just like this, right? We are going to look up this real quick, and let's go to, I don't remember the name of it, right? But let's do this. So this right here is a Brazilian pizza with corn, bacon, Brazilian cream cheese, right? Look at this. Look at this stuff, right? Look at this. And then this is a dessert pizza, right? Look at this stuff, right? I don't know what this one is, right? That's not Brazilian. But look at this stuff, right? This one has eggs and olives and, oh my goodness. All right, I got it. I can't do this. This is not going to help me for my competition coming up. So anyways, Diego says, we are waiting for you here. You know what? I'm working on it. I am working on it, right? But let's get to work on our last 20 minutes. I know. Tech Takeover. I know. But if you're lactose intolerant, that is not for you. Trust me. But sometimes you just have to make sacrifices. All right, let's go into our last 20 minutes of the day, closing out LinkedIn. All right, so we are.
Let's go!
All right, so our last 20 minutes of today. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. Like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. So our environment has successfully launched. The issue that we were having, which the reason that it wasn't detailed in here, is because when AWS made the change, it probably wasn't it probably wasn't in effect, right? So what I will do, right? Can I leave a comment on this? I don't think so. But I will reach out to Samson and thank him for this amazing guide that he's provided. But I will also let him know that in the part of the setting it up, that you need to do that identity and access management part. So, you know, we learn, and then as developers and stuff like that, we want to reach out to each other and help out, right? So with that being said, let's go here. So we have our environment. Let's see if we click on this, if we will get something. There we go. There we go. All right. So, and one more. All right. So we have this here, right? So now our next step, if we look at our documentation, we are going to go to, so we have our, sorry, we have our pipeline. We have, we have all this done. So we did all that. So now we're going to go to deploy. So we're going to go to code pipeline and we're going to click the deploy button and that should do it. That should do it. All right. So, all right. So let's go here, code pipeline, and we are going to, I guess we can retry the failed action. Let's do that. Let's see if we can get it from here. Hopefully this works, right? Because that is the last step. The reason that it was failing is because our Elastic Beanstalk wasn't working. So if we go back over here and we refresh, let's see if there's anything that's happening over here. I don't see anything happening over here. Oh, you know what? It might be, this might not work because it was on the, yeah, it was on the other one. So let's see if we can edit this to change it to the different environment, right? So let's edit this stage. Let's edit this. And we want it to go to this environment, the new one, all right? And we'll go back and we'll delete that other one. So we'll click done. So now if we go up here and we save, it should, let's say we do, retry this stage. Let's see what happens. Anything happening? So the stage name deploy. Let's retry failed actions. Let's see. So what if we were to do just a button? So let's go to, can't retry. So let's go to release maybe. Release a source revision with all changes to your, choose the source revision. Not sure. Let's say stop execution. Choose the pipeline. Let's see. We got our Beanstalk. Make sure it's going to the new one. Yes. Done. And we save that. Pipeline was successfully saved. Pipelines. If I click on this, last executed 2 minutes ago, I want to do, I mean, I can do release changes, and if it doesn't work, we just create it over again, right? No biggie. So release changes. The most recent change will rerun through the pipeline. It might take a few moments for the status to show the run in the pipeline. All right, cool. All right, so we're going through deployment again. And this time it should go through the new one. All right. So if this is done, then we can see if we'll be able to So let's go over to here. Okay, so Elastic Beanstalk is updating your environment. So something is happening. Environment update is starting. Environment health has transitioned from okay to info. Application update in progress, running for okay. Deploying new version to instances. All right, this is what we want to see. So let's keep our fingers crossed, right? And if this works, I'm going to send a big shout out to Samson Omajola for that amazing guide that he gave us that helped us get this far. Let's take a look at. So we can close this out. We're done with this. So this is running. So we can see both things happening here. So environment update successfully completed. New application version was deployed running on EC2 instances. We go here. This should be wrapping up soon as well. So we're good on Elastic Beanstalk side. Let's see what we have over here. Deployed. All right. So the moment of truth, right? The moment of truth. If we refresh this, what do we get? Oh my God. We have our application deployed on AWS Beanstalk. If we click on the I have poopy pants icon, what happens? It is loading. Uh-oh. So our application is deployed, but we do have an issue because we need to pass some parameters in there. But our application is deployed. So it is a partial failure. But we did get past a huge part. So let's see if there's a way that we can get our that we can get this thing in there, right? So if we go to configuration and we go to so I need to pass an environment variable. So I think it's probably in here we're gonna have to do this, right? So edit so manage your application monitoring, logging instances, and other environment resources. So let's do a quick Google search, right? Because I didn't think about that. But how to pass environment variable to Elastic Beanstalk. Very simple environment variable, right? But let's see. Environment properties and other. So let's take a look at that. So I need to pass something like this, right? Configure platforms. Let's see what we can figure out. So this is kind of like what we need to pass. But where do you configure it though? Maybe this is what we need. All right, cool. So how do you pass custom environment variables to Amazon Elastic Beanstalk? As a heads up for anyone who uses EB extensions, nowadays you can add, edit, remove. The variables are under configuration, software configuration. So let's take a look at that, right? Let's see if we can find that. Configuration, software configuration. It's not here. It's not here. I don't think it's there. Might be under environment properties. Let's see. If we go here and we go platforms, configure options available to your specific platform. These include proxy server. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. So we want to go to environment property and we are going to go to Let me pull this up from over here. So Google Sheets API, and the value for that is going to be this long URL right here. And we are going to apply that. Now, let's see if we can, I guess we might have to do a redeploy. Environment update is starting. Okay, so maybe it's going to do it automatically. Let's see here. Environment, updating environment. All right, cool. So updating the environment. And Elastic Beanstalk is updating your environment to cancel. All right, we don't want to cancel. So environment, how that's transition from OK to info. We are learning a lot right now. But I am happy because being able to see, like, because it was driving me crazy with Amplify not being able to get it. But the fact that we're able to get it with Beanstalk is impressive. And we'll see what happens. Like, so give it a second. So I just want to give us a round of applause for us being able to get this to work. That's what I mean, that we do not quit. We just keep pushing forward. We keep we keep pushing along, right? Let's see. Make sure it's done. So Elastic Beanstalk updating your environment. Environment update is complete. Oops. So let's say we try that again. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we just had to add the environment variable, and now we have our quotes from David Goggins. I have poopy pants. You click on it again. I had two options: to either be that 300-pound guy who sprayed for cockroaches and made $1,000 a month, or I can totally just fail and fail and fail until I succeed. Which one will you choose? And if we need another one, we click on that. Let's go. All right. You fail a lot when you set goals so high, right? So this is the Poopy Pants app that my tech barbarians have built. And Tech Takeover says, like you tell me, bro, you always have to fail, for that is a fact. So we have 5 minutes left, right? So let's see if we can. There's different ways to do this, but let's see how to set subdomain to AWS Beanstalk. And I don't know. Let's see. Attach a subdomain to. That's what we need. Attach a subdomain to an Elastic Beanstalk environment. I wonder if this one's going to give us. All right. So, and we can probably do this on maybe Thursday night, this part. But let's take a quick look in our last 5 minutes. It says, let's say the reader has deployed. All right. All right. So let's first. All right. So once signed in, search for that. Find the Elastic Beanstalk environment that was uploaded. And this. All right. So we have that. So that's pretty much what we have, right? We have ours right here. It would be great if this API could be accessible at a domain that was purchased on GoDaddy. Ours is purchased on Namecheap, and we're going to be using a subdomain as well. The author owns the domain Justin Gerber, right? This guide will make it to whether. Yep, that's pretty exactly what we want to do, right? The reader should have. All right, so we got that. So create a host zone. So, like I said, we're going to have to use Route 53, right? So, and we can, I know we could do this in Terraform as well, but maybe next week we'll use Terraform to create the Route 53. But for now, let's see if we could do, let's go into, close this out. Let's close that out. So we're done with this, right? So, and it is up and running. Very, very cool. So I'm gonna use this one, right? Because we're done. We're like we this is I'm so happy, so impressed by the work that we've done. But let's see if we can just push forward a little bit, right? Route 53. We're gonna go to hosted zones. And we are going to say create a hosted zone, provide a domain name of, all right. So create hosted zone. I wonder- So, and then we're going to provide the name of techcoachralph.dev. And we are going to say create hosted zone. And now collect NS record of domain. All right, so we're going to go to here and we are going to go to so there goes NS records, the name servers. All right, so then specifically copy these values. But I don't want to do that in particular because that would be changing the whole domain to that'd be changing the entire domain. So that's not necessarily what we want to do because I already have my domain name hosted and pointing to different stuff. So I can't change the whole entire thing. But what we could do is point a subdomain to Elastic Beanstalk. Let's take a look at this real quick. So that's our name. Let's see. External subdomain pointing to. All right. So, and if we'll probably like wrap this up and finish this part on Thursday, but this is great, great progress. I'm so happy where we're at. The OP uses external DNS. The CNAME record, so exactly, this is my situation. The DNS provider is external. There is no need to do anything. In more detail, the DNS manager of the domain create a CNAME record for the subdomain. For example, if Elastic Beanstalk subdomain is this, then we should add a CNAME entry for
Lunch break! Lunch break!
depending on the DNS host we are using, one can add the CNAME record ourselves, or we may need to host it for us. Oh, okay. So if it's just a CNAME, we can quickly run through that real quick, right? So this is our name. So let's go to panel.dreamhost. Here, just get to that spot, and then we will all right. So I'm inside my Dreamhost, right? Because that's where my that's where it's being managed. So if I go to DNS here, and I go and so these are a bunch of different subdomains that I have for the Tech Coach Ralph domain, Tech Coach Ralph dev. If I do a CNAME here, or yeah, it's not. Let's click on. So I click on CNAME add, and we call this poopy pants, and it points to poopy pants and Elastic Beanstalk. We do a add record. That should take care of it, but it's still going to need to propagate. So let's see what happens real quick. DNS is refreshing. Sometimes, like, I remember when I was working in web hosting tech support back in 2005-ish, it took like up to 48 hours for DNS to propagate. Nowadays, it is super, super quick, right? It is super quick. Oh, there goes the time cost calculator. CNAME that's also pointing to an AWS CloudFront. This one is pointing to Beanstalk. I'm going to be monitoring the cost as well. Need to do some optimization in my AWS. But yeah, like I was saying, right, it used to take like up to 48 hours, sometimes 72 hours for DNS to propagate across the internet. Now it happens so quickly. So it's pretty cool. Like how fast technology has advanced. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Let's see how long this is gonna take. It would be pretty cool if we could see it now. If we just go to poopypants.techcoachralph.dev, and we can always register a domain name for it as well. But yeah, we are going to be like, so my tech barbarians, we're going to continue building things out, having some fun, learning together. But I'm happy that on December 31st, 2023, we were able to finish up the application that we started, or at least the MVP. We're not done with it yet, right? But at least we finished up the MVP of the application that we started back in like September-ish time. And amazing job by them all. Like the research they did, the testing, the development. Shout out to my amazing Stephanie in there. We've been working together since like August. Like, just everyone that I work with, who stuck through it and who put in the work. I am super, super proud of them all. Let me get this timer off. We're just waiting right now to see if this is going to go through. And it'll be absolutely amazing if we can just try it out and see that it loads. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But we've made great progress. I don't even think we need this anymore. But let's just see. Let me close this out. Let's see what happens with this, and we shall. We're just waiting just a little bit, right? We're just waiting just a little bit, because it will be super cool that we can finish everything off. And then we will. One of the things that we're gonna do on this channel as we continue to go through Terraform, like I say, we don't just follow what step by step what they give us. We take the concepts and then we apply it. We apply it ourselves, right? So I'll just go to full screen while this is doing this thing. We take the concepts and then we apply it to what we need to do, because that's how we were able to learn it. If I was just to follow, have the Terraform course hold my hand, last week I wouldn't have been able to whip up together this Terraform stuff that we needed for the AWS Simplify. So what I want to do now that we created this manually, I don't, you know me, I hate doing stuff manually, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to use Terraform. That's going to be our project going forward, right? We're going to take Terraform and we're going to migrate what we did with Elastic Beanstalk and the code pipeline into Terraform. So maybe we'll start off with the code pipeline, or maybe we'll start with Beanstalk. I don't know. We'll start with one of them, right? Pretty much, we'll use the Honey Badger guide created by Samsung, and we'll use that to create it in Terraform, right? And we already see all the configuration that we need. We're going to do that in Terraform, and we're going to work, right? And we're going to continue to learn, and that's going to be our next project, is to get this application that we created manually into Terraform. So, as you can see here, this successfully created it. So now, what if we go to the moment of truth? Maybe it didn't propagate yet, right? But let's see. If we do poopypants.techcoachralph coachralph.dev. What do we have? Does it load? I don't know. It's taking too long for my liking. Maybe it's not going to work, right? But we tried. It might not even be fully propagated yet. So we shall see. But it is what it is. We will try it out in the future. We're gonna let's give it some time to propagate. Maybe we'll try it tomorrow morning, see what happens. Because apparently it's not loading right now. But we have our app up and running over here. If we refresh, still there. Click add poopy pants. It may be satisfactory, but that's another word for mediocrity. So I am going to leave you with that quote tonight. I am proud of everyone who has been rocking with me for the amount of work you've put in, for leveling up. I thank Tech Takeover for always tuning in, for being so supportive. We are going to kill it in 2024. I thank Diego for stopping by. Happy New Year's to you as well. You're doing amazing things. I'm proud of you all. I thank all of my tech barbarians who have been supporting me and working with me and letting me add value into your lives. I thank all of the YouTube subscribers as well who reach out to me, who interact with me. All the people that I've met, Socks, Don, it's so many like good guy. So just for good guy.
Good guy.
I appreciate you all. I think that everything that you guys do, all the encouragement, all the support, it's amazing. And so we're going into 2024 strong. We had a victory today by us being able to deploy this application on AWS. We fought it the past couple of weeks, but here we are, always winning and always leveling up. So to end, and Tech Takeover says, I got you, family. I truly appreciate you. Yep. And we are going, to end the year off right, I have a question for you. For all this time we spent together in 2023, the question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you're here?
But, my good old buddy Marlo for 2024.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Let's do it. Our technical skills, they are going to skyrocket in 2024. I am with you to the end. All right. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in one last time. If you haven't done so already, to end 2023 off right and going into 2024 winning. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that I go live. We're going to kill it in 2024, right? Like the video, share the video with everyone. Check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. And on that note, let's go ahead and level up.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bowed before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination, these are the very essence of our people. The spirit of our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles upon us forth. And the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.